porn use disrupt loyalty in relationships? I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, cognitive neuroscientist, porn disrupting relationships.
No FAP leads to more loyalty in relationships. Agreeers, please step forward. I'm hearing a lot of chuckles. This is fun.
You know what I'm going to say. The science shows that there is a 50% increase in heated breakups and divorce when porn's in the mix. The science answers it for us. But I've also worked personally with thousands of people. I've helped millions of people step away from porn. The number one reason that they want to leave porn behind is the loss of their relationship. Many times that loss of the relationship is because of ED. It's not me using hyperbole. This is real. The one female porn performer, when I contended that people who consume porn together, because she was saying that people can use porn together to spice up their sex life, and she actually contended that it's sex education for people with developmental disabilities like autism, which I had to stop her on that one. We can revisit this in a second, but that she contended that when people watch porn together, it's actually healthy for them. And I offered the notion that that's like two alcoholics who keep getting their drink on together.
So me being with a partner and like us watching porn together, like that, you compare that to us being two alcoholics?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Just because we want to spice it up a little, we just want to watch other people have sex.
It's still objectification. Like if you're watching other people have sex, you are no longer having a sexual experience in and of itself. Like it takes you out of the present and it puts you into fantasy. Fantasy is hypersexualized, which means in your experience with your partner, you're looking for level 15 dopamine instead of the happiness trifecta.
Yeah, maybe they're having fun for that instant gratification and escapism and release, all the things that porn does. But long term, that's not serving their health, physical, mental, emotional, social, relational, and it is a very unhealthy practice. Two alcoholics. She was a little miffed at me for that contention, but it's true. In alcoholism, those two people would be going to the bottle to regulate themselves from outside of themselves. The same thing happens in porn. If you have to go to porn, you're looking for the dopamine hit. It's linked to sex. That's just what your brain got linked to sex instead of to alcohol. Alcohol, substance abuse. Porn is a behavioral abuse, compulsion. The analogy is a very good one. So she's like, are you saying we're two alcoholics? And I'm like, yes. That is what I'm saying. It's probably the strongest contention I made, which I don't even know why. But she wanted to say that people can use porn together in a healthy way. They can't. We know that porn disrupts relationships. And I also said that's a very small percentage of people. And the women who watch porn with their partners when they're younger, as they grow older and they improve their emotional intelligence, they realize they were doing that to please their partner, not because they enjoyed it. We know this. That led to another conversation with female porn performer who contended that when she was younger, she thought of it as jealous, but she might have not wanted her boyfriends at the time to watch porn because she thought she had lower self-esteem back then.
Like I said, when I was younger, like a teenager, I was really insecure and I couldn't handle the fact that like any of my partners thought that someone else was attractive because I had like really deep-seated issues and I worked through those.
And that now she's okay with her boyfriend watching porn because she feels okay about herself. What she doesn't understand is that, and she's in her late 20s. So what she doesn't understand is that perhaps as she became hypersexualized and entered into the industry, and now she's swimming around in the water in the goldfish bowl, she's desensitized to the fact that in a healthy relationship, people don't want their partners to view other people in a sexual way and to get all that dopamine. Plus, an emotionally healthy person who's educated, inspired, and empowered realizes that those are the seeds of addiction that would pull their partner away from them. That's why trust breaks down. Betrayal trauma is very real. That porn performer was actually saying she had become less emotionally intelligent over time without really realizing it. She thought she was saying she had increased self-esteem. And again, I was trying to stay grounded and not argue every point, which maybe would have been more entertaining. But that's not true. I work with partners in my program called Sanity After Betrayal. I've seen betrayal trauma in the brain. I've seen it healed. I can see how the brain improves as the person's partner is tending to their porn addiction recovery. And then the mostly women tend to their own emotional intelligence improvement. And then people are able to come together and to trust themselves first and foremost, and then each other in the journey of recovery. In the conversation, the porn performer said that they reach out to their clients and they give their clients advice. She kept saying she was in the mental health field. I'm not quite sure what that means.
A lot of men come to me with confidence issues. They're like, I just had someone last week saying like, give me your top 3 tips on confidence. And whatever came to me, I typed it out and I was like, you do with that as you wish. And I know it's not my responsibility to like be their therapist.
Well, that's where the dopamine dependency comes in, because they are linked to you.
I don't want anybody getting mental health advice from a person who is scientifically shown to likely be dysregulated. And the reason I say scientifically shown is there are studies that show that porn performers have higher levels of mental health challenges as they go into the industry. They have much earlier exposure to porn and early sexual experiences. The one performer said that she was sexually active before 5th grade. We know that there's financial insecurity, which is why they go into the profession, that they're exposed to poor mental health environments, and many of them have sexual abuse. We know that these are people that I don't want other people taking advice from. You need to take advice from people who are educated, inspired, and empowered in the thing that you need advice on, not a porn performer. If you're going to porn performers for advice, whatever kind of advice you need, go to that professional. You need nutritional advice, go to a dietitian or a nutritionist. You need porn addiction recovery advice, come here. You need fashion advice, go to a fashion person. Don't go to a porn performer who likely is using a hypersexualized context. Now, one example they gave was helping people who are autistic.
I have a lot of like functioning autistic people and stuff like that on my page who are just way too scared to get out there in public. They're hardly functioning on their own, and this is something that they can finally get their first like sexual experience with a woman. And I talk to them. It's a beneficial relationship. And I guess it just depends on how you perceive that, if it's negative or positive. For me, I perceive it as a positive thing for them.
I've worked with people on the autistic spectrum my whole professional life, which is about 30 years now. People who are on the autistic spectrum should not be hypersexualized. They need help if they get into a relationship. We know they need help with social skills and intimacy in and of itself. And then with the proper resources, they can learn to build healthy sexuality. Food for thought is, when we're talking about, does porn disrupt loyalty in relationships? Absolutely. All relationships of all kinds. If you have had issues with porn addiction and you are feeling these aspects in your life, I don't need to explain it to you. But for those who don't know what I'm talking about, this rabbit hole, this downward spiral, it can lead that narcissistic bubble of looking for dopamine. It can lead people to cheat on their partners. I've had multiple people, one person in particular on a consultation threw up because of what he had done while in the bubble, and his family was destroyed. There was no going back. When people wake up from the bubble, the number one thing they wish is they could turn back time. You can't turn back time, my friend. All you can do is start right now. All right, let's get to the next prompt. Porn is inherently anti-feminist. I'll see you in the next video in this series. What do you think I had to say? I think you might be surprised. Follow me. I'll see you in the next video.